You know 6 languages, debate, chess, and theater club. Wow. No mental health issues to speak of?
Oh, no, none at all.
Great. And looks like your essay was about your dad. Oh, did he die?
No, he's my role model.
Oh.
What is happening?
Just standard procedure questions,
Okay, well, am I accepted?
I guess. Since there's one spot left to fill and no other options.
And my grades are stellar.
That too, I guess.
Excuse me, I'm here for the admissions meeting.
Oh, you're a little early.
I'm sorry, it's just my dad, Mr. Mike Legacy, was getting a little antsy.
Did you say legacy? Is he by chance a legacy at this school?
Sure is. And he's awful rich too.
You're accepted.
What? Pierre Bourdieu was a French sociologist. He revolutionized many fields, speaking on language, gender, the arts. But today we're going to take a look at his views on education because that's part of my curriculum. So it's not really up to me. Bourdieu thought of educational systems as the biggest oppressors to an egalitarian society because the system fundamentally relies on social stratification and constantly upholds it. Education might be improving with time, yet the people who benefit from it are still mostly middle and upper classes. This is where forms of capital play a role. Capital is like the accumulation of certain qualities, with the 2 major forms being economic and cultural capital. As David Schwartz describes in his book Culture and Power, The Sociology of Pierre Bourdieu, on page 192, the distribution of economic capital, wealth, income, and property, which Bourdieu calls the dominant principle of hierarchy, and the distribution of cultural capital, knowledge, culture, and educational credentials, which Bourdieu calls the second principle of hierarchy. These qualities of wealth and culture and knowledge are things that a person or a family possesses. And I say family because Bourdieu believes that capital can be passed down. You as an individual might not have it, but it could be enough for your parents or your grandparents to have had it. And this generational accumulation is what really cements the idea of capital even today. The best schools of our time, while they claim to operate on the basis of meritocracy, have extremely high standards and extremely low rates of acceptance. Hello again to this corner of my room. In 2023, around 23,000 people applied to Oxford University and around 3,000 students got in. That's like 16%? I just did that math in my head, not beforehand. Yale University has an acceptance rate at around 6%. That's normal, probably. Well, what about Harvard? Never mind. Back to you, sitting on the chair. Wow, those were some interesting statistics. Said no one ever. The idea of capital being passed down also relates to the idea of another one of Bourdieu's most famous ideologies, the habitus, or a set of relatively permanent and largely unconscious ideas about one's chances of success and how society works. Page 197. Your habitus is already decided for you from before you're born, and seeing it be confirmed by these large institutions such as education itself is what reinforces social hierarchy and makes mobility near impossible. Bourdieu claims that this is why the youth of the working class don't aim for greater things intellectually, because they have come to terms with their situation and therefore their situation does not change. It's like when you didn't apply to that Ivy League school because you didn't think that you could get in. And those in higher standings keep reaping the benefits of this system, and the cycle continues. You need a good education to get a good job. Yet the only way to obtain a good education is if you already have a firm social standing, which you got from your predecessors who had a lot of money and got into good schools and subsequently got the jobs. Confusing, right? Well, not really. It mostly almost boils down to one thing. Is it all hopeless? Is the system doomed? Well, Bourdieu seems to think so, yeah. This idea of habitus, while it may seem to be true sometimes, reminds me of a psychological state called learned helplessness, where we keep facing the same obstacles over and over and over again, and at one point, we stop trying. And then we miss the opportunity to overcome our predicament. Perhaps the educational system won't change. It definitely won't overnight, but just sitting back and accepting it is not gonna make it get better either. And this is true for so many other parts of life, which I think the moral of the story here is don't let the capitalists win. Bourdieu never explicitly said that, but I feel like he would agree with me on this one.